Okay, so you know this guy, right? The big red suit, the white beard, the belly that, shakes like a bowl full of jelly. Of course you do. But what if I told you that the Santa Claus we all have in our heads is really just the final chapter in a story that is way older and honestly a lot more surprising than you might think? Let's get into it. You see, behind all the magic, the sleigh rides, the North Pole workshop, there's the secret history. And it was pieced together over centuries by all sorts of people. Saints, poets, settlers, even advertisers. So in this explainer, we're going to unwrap that whole story layer by fascinating layer. All right, to really understand the Santa we know today, we have to start in a pretty surprising place, America. And believe it or not, the jolly round guy we all know and love, he's a relatively new invention, shaped almost completely in the 19th and 20th centuries. You can actually watch him being built piece by piece. So first, back in 1823, a famous poem gives us all the magic stuff, the reindeer, the sleigh, the whole coming down the chimney delivery system. Then, in the 1860s, an illustrator named Thomas Nast gives him that iconic look, the red suit and that famous jolly belly. And finally, get this, in the 1930s, it was Coca-Cola ads that really perfected that warm, friendly, grandfatherly face that we all recognize today. Wild, right? Okay, so if his image was pretty much perfected in America, that brings up a really big question. Where in the world did the name Santa Claus come from? It doesn't exactly sound like it was cooked up in New York. And to answer that one, well, we have to go across the Atlantic. The answer lies with his direct ancestor, a figure named Sinterklaas. When Dutch settlers came to America, they brought his story with them. Now, their version was a little different. He rode a horse, not a sleigh, and he left gifts in shoes, not in stockings. But the name is the real key here. You can literally hear the evolution, can't you? The Dutch name, Sinterklaas, when it was heard and repeated over and over by English speakers, it slowly changed. Sinterklaas just kind of morphed into the name we know today, Santa Claus. So his name isn't American at all. It's a direct import. But we can go back even further. I mean, the story doesn't stop there. Before Sinterklaas, before Santa Claus, there was a real person at the very, very root of this entire story. This is where we meet the original St. Nicholas. Now, this wasn't some mythical guy from the North Pole. St. Nicholas was a real person, a Christian bishop who lived in a place called Myra that's in modern-day Turkey, way, way back in the 3rd and 4th centuries. He wasn't known for a sleigh, but for his legendary kindness and generosity, which made him famous as the protector of children. And here it is, the story that started it all. The most famous tale about him is how he secretly dropped bags of gold into a poor man's house in the middle of the night. He did it to provide dowries for the man's daughters so they could get married. This one act, this secret nighttime gift-giving, that is the historical seed of our entire Christmas tradition. So when you put it all together side by side, the transformation is just stunning. On one side, you have the real man, a kind bishop from Turkey who gave away gold coins, and on the other, the myth, a magical being from the North Pole who delivers toys with a team of flying reindeer. That is an absolutely incredible evolution over almost 2,000 years. And what's really cool is that Santa's story of transformation isn't actually unique. It turns out he's not the only part of the holiday that's a big blend of histories. So many of our most cherished Christmas traditions are really just a mix of different cultures and ancient practices. I mean, think about it. The Christmas tree? That's a German tradition from the 1800s. Christmas caroling? That comes from medieval church songs. Even the date, December 25th, was most likely chosen to line up with older Roman winter festivals. Our whole modern celebration is like this beautiful tapestry woven from threads all over the world. So why? Why does Santa stay such a powerful figure today, even after all these changes? Well, I think it's because when you strip everything else away, he represents these universal ideas. The historical St. Nicholas, he was all about generosity and giving. The myth of Santa Claus, he inspires joy and hope and imagination. The spirit behind both the man and the myth, that's what really lasts. So, in the end, Santa Claus isn't just one story. He's this single, amazing narrative that's been told and retold across 1,700 years. It connects a kind-hearted bishop from ancient Turkey all the way to the global symbol of generosity that circles the world every December. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it?